was shocked beyond measure when I saw on the front page that, let me call him Maho Group because, it's Sunwing Board, Great Bay, and all kind of confusion and so on. So to make it simple for the viewers, let me call it Maho Group. Are asking the government for a soft loan of $55 million. I mean, I have some questions to this. First and foremost, were they not insured? Secondly, did they collect the insurance money as yet? Thirdly, what kind of insurance did they have? Because it's a thing called interruption insurance. So these are the questions that I have before even contemplating or thinking about granting anything. And I can say it up front, it is nowhere in my mind to do such. If you should see the laundry list that they have, I went through it point by point by point. And when I saw what they were asking, I'm saying to myself, how is it possible that $1 billion business institution, because I tried to Google even Sunwing, airlines, restaurants, hotels, and so on. So I'm asking myself the question, why are they even contemplating asking government for a loan? Yes, I Googled soft loan, and it can be given by governments also. Yes, that is true. What is a soft loan? It means low interest rates to be repaid when the institution or whatever is able to do so. All that I understand. But the fact is, a multi-billion-dollar institution like the Home Group, Maho, Great Bay, Sunwing are asking a government that has no money, that is busy right now preparing 37 cost-cutting measures that will affect civil servants. They're asking the same government to give them $55 million in a soft loan? No. They want water rights. They want tax exemption, no turnover tax. The casino fees, controllers fees, they don't want to pay that either. And when I talk about the casino and controllers fees, let me say this. I know in the past there was a big fight with government and these casino and these resorts in order to get the casino fees and the controllers fees. As far as I know, there are court cases going on right now. So my little input would be, if you want me to exempt you from paying the casino fees, how current are you right now with the present fees? Number one. Secondly, there are court cases going on. Are you willing to withdraw your court case against the government? Let us talk about these things. You want all kind of privileges. What are you offering us as government? What are you offering the government? You want to make sure the contractors are here, that they pay no TOT. Neither the resorts. How do you expect government to survive? No government can survive without taxes. So already there you're going wrong. The 5% room tax, are you paying it? Are you paying the wage tax? Are you current to these taxes? So before you come with these demands and requests, we want to know exactly how you stand. Let us see your books. Let us see your figures. As I said in the beginning, I am in no way in favor of this nonsense, because the fact is, there are those who need it more than these multi-billion-dollar institutions. And it is time that government put a stop to this nonsense. But again, I do not know if the government did not have a discussion with these institutions prior to them coming with these requests. So those are the things that we don't know about. But I'm saying that what they're requesting for right now, it is ridiculous. On the other hand, if I'm government, I'll say this. You want water rights. You want tax exemption. Okay. What about the employees? The employees who are there now, are they being paid properly? And those that went attended the NIPA for the training, my advice would be for you to refund them their money, because the training came from Maho or from whatever Great Bay. You refund them their money. Do not take out their money. Already being paid next to nothing. Give them back their money. I received complaints from some of them concerning the SVB cards, the doctor cards, that were expired. And I'm saying, if they are still in your employ, which I'm sure you are saying they are, every one of them should have a doctor card that is current. And it should carry over to when you reopen again, and then you can discuss whatever you want to discuss. But right now, no employee, Great Bay, Maho, whatever, should be without a medical card. That will be irresponsible on your behalf. That is what I will request. Furthermore, the matter of the short-term contracts. Yes, we know the hotel has been damaged. The season is not what it has to be. But the fact is now, no worker should be on a short-term contract unless it is a seasonal worker. The little watered-down law we have right now in Parliament will not work. What we need to know, you are asking for things, now I'm demanding what I want. Fact is, if you want us to come across with certain things, then I want you to come across with this issue. Short-term contracts only for seasonal employees or construction companies. And if we find out that all your workers are still on a contractual basis after working there for years, then your license should be revoked because it appears that you will not adhere to the law. So let us talk business. You want this, this is what I want. Also, in addition to that, what about the pension scheme? Yes, we have the AOV, but I'm saying no. This result, and I'm directed to the result because they're the one who ask for these requirements, that they make sure that all the employees have a separate pension insurance from them. Because check carefully, in India, pension is compulsory for everyone. So don't say that it can't happen. Don't say it can't happen. So I'm saying right now, the demands that you're placing right now, I don't see them working. The package that the minister said they're trying to give to you, I think they should be put aside. Let us see your books. Let us see how you stand financially. And then we'll talk as to what we are willing, what we are not willing to give. People of St. Martin, it is time for us to make sure that the government represents all the people all the time, and not those who we know for a fact during campaign time suppose campaign funding. It is not enough for us to give our souls to them. So I'm saying, home group, Maho group, whatever your name is or whatever, you are a multi-billion-dollar institution, and if you can't tell government what your insurance policy is, what you collected, then I think that you're on the wrong track, because there are many others who can make use of these funds. And let me say to my friend, Mr. Andre Bosman and Van Rack, I am surprised that I'm not hearing nothing from you that a grant, and that's what the Minister of Finance, Michael Ferrer, said, that it is a grant, the $550 million is a grant, that you are not making any noise, any statement in regards to we getting a grant from the taxpayers' money in Holland, and then we're being asked to use that same grant as a soft loan to a multi-billion-dollar economy.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Is the weekend of the 15th, and every 15th we expect all companies to come in and pay their turnover tax and other monthly payments to government. So, and every month we've been having serious issues with regards to how many people we can handle before the 15th. In other words, the flow of folks. The area where we've been collecting monies is kind of small. Ever since the hurricane, we've had to stop using the receiver's office. And so it becomes a very busy area, and lots of folks need to stand in line for a long time. So we have got in place for this weekend that the receiver's office will be open to the general public to receive all payments on Saturday, April 14th from 9 to 1, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is to accommodate the amount of companies that try to get and bring us money. We don't think that we should make it too difficult for you to bring us money. There will be 6 cashiers working on Saturday to accommodate the public. And also, since the 15th falls on a Sunday, you will have an extension of 1 day so that you can still pay on the 16th also. So that's one announcement that I'd like to make. Secondly, I'd just like to update you on the budget 2018. This morning, we approved the budget. When I say approved, we approved it within the COM of 2018 with the latest changes that needed to be made. And it's now on its way to the Council of Advice, CFT, as well as the General Audit Chamber. And we hope that we can get all the paces that it needs to make done so that we can get the budget approved by Parliament no later than May 1st as promised to State Secretary Knops. So it means that we've asked all the instances that need to take a look at the budget finally to ask if they can help us expedite it so that we can meet this deadline. I'd just like to mention a couple of things on the budget. We show that our deficit has been reduced from 257 million, as we thought, to 250 million guilders, which is still a huge amount of money. So we ask that everyone do their fair share of taking a look at how we can reduce the expenditures of government. I spoke a week ago about different cost-reducing measures, and I know that we had quite some responses from the community, from the unions, and from, of course, the employees of government that felt, because I said a lot of the cost-reducing measures may affect the employees of government. Now, I'd like to just mention that personnel costs, so the cost of personnel in the budget of 2018 is a whopping 199,885,000 guilders. It is 39, almost 40% of our total cost of government. So hence my request for us to take a look at all the expenditures that we make, and some of them will affect our employees. I know also that everybody immediately thinks, well, you know, they're going to cut my salary, and that's not the first thing on the list. I do have to mention again that the list that we made has not yet been approved totally because we're still talking about how to go about certain things. Some items are established by law. And so we need to find ways and means of make this happen. But I'd like to mention a couple of the items that are on the list. And the first one on the list is adjust the remuneration for holders of political office, implement a temporary reduction of a percentage of salaries of the ministers. So we touch ourselves first. We talk about, number two, adjust the bridge allowance for ex-ministers. I need to tell you that we've had a lot of changes of government in the last 7 years. And every time you have a change of government, you have an amount of ministers that leave office who by law are entitled to a certain amount of money for up to 2 years, depending on how long they were in office. We've come to the conclusion that based on the amount of changes in government, this island really can't afford the bridge allowance for all the ministers, but it's set by law, so we need to take a look and see how we can approach that too.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 fun mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Tell them, connecting you.
Up to now, the unions have not received an invitation or the shopping list where it pertains to the 37 measures that government intends to make in the civil service. Surprisingly enough, on Saturday last, we were very surprised to read of the request by the Maho Group and the Sunwing Group for their request of $55 million loan from the government of St. Martin by way of the reconstruction funds. When you read the article in question and you see the long list of their wishes, one begs to ask the question: what is it in it for the government of St. Martin? Because we are talking about exemptions and waivers, and I'm sure if you were to package those exemptions and waivers, it might come up to a pretty handsome sum of money, which according to me, that government is in need of. So these things are quite surprising to us, especially in these times. But more interestingly enough, in the very same article, we also read that the same civil servants who are now fretting and who are now concerned about these cuts will be the same ones, to some extent of course, who might need to render advice and an opinion with regards to the waivers of these taxes and exemptions and so forth and so on. So the irony is, on one hand, we are talking about cutting the machine that is responsible for delivering critical advices, critical services, and it's making its way to the private sector. I can only imagine how those civil servants, the rock, to be between a rock and a hard place, that some of those civil servants might find themselves in. Because here we are, lobbying to increase their purchasing power, to increase their protections, to increase their benefits, and we're always getting the line, we don't have money. We don't have money. That's what we're constantly hearing. But at the same time, some sort of provision, seemingly, and these are my words, seemingly are being made in the background. But what was more interesting, and especially from a union perspective, when I read the part about possible waivers and exemptions for labor. Now, when I hear something like that, it makes me wonder whether we'll be importing labor in order to carry out some of these reconstruction. Now, I can imagine with all of the job fairs and the unemployment rate that is going on, that we are still going to bring in labor at a time like this. And where is the labor coming from? And who is the company bringing them in? And in which construction company will be executing these tasks? Is some of our questions. All right, so these are something that I think the decision makers ought to think very deeply and seriously about, because most certainly there will be some serious ramifications in this regard. Once again, I think it is critical that we know as taxpayers, as workers, as citizens of this country, what is the government getting in return for all of these lists of demands, for lack of a better word, that is being requested by the company. Especially when I was able to find a very interesting article with regards to the Sunwing Group, which basically outlines that the company, the group, makes $2 billion annually in revenue. $2 billion. That's the Sunwing Group. Okay? Now that's more than a lot of change, if you ask me. My question is, why isn't this group playing a much larger role towards refinancing one of their affiliates or branches or whatever have you? Other hotels was damaged also. Other hotels, large resorts was damaged also. But I'm not seeing these kind of provisions being made for them. All right? But besides that, and I think, again, I have to continue stressing this particular matter, it can't be that these businesses or lawyers or whomever continue to create the rules of the game. It must be that whenever it comes to provisions being made, we as workers must be included in that package.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
With, again, Madame la Préfète, Prime Minister, of the Dot side and myself, we reopen cooperation issues in terms of 3 programs that we had already engaged and that was stopped for a certain while, that we took the decision altogether to re-engage. There were also the question of other issues that we had to tackle. The garbage disposal was one of them, and we of course will be working on how we can ameliorate, how we can organize together in a new program, because we are working with the Interreg program, but we included in a new program of Interreg the garbage disposal, working on a common field. Of course, you know that demands a certain amount of studies, that demands a certain amount of operation that needs to be made before we go into it and selecting a common project, but those are the things that we are also emphasizing for the next coming years.
Could you just go over again the Madame la Préfète was talking about a siren system in the beginning?
Yes.
So it's one of the alert.
Okay, so there was 2 phases. What we talked about is what we are prepared on today. We talk about the SMS. We talk about the MyCity that will be an application that will be giving information. We talk about our website, collectivity and state. And Madame la Préfète talked also about the siren, which is in French it's a dispositif that is common on a national territory, in which once a month siren goes on to have a security measure to say, okay, when you hear this, you need to evacuate for one reason. So we want to, and I would say, have that system also in St. Martin, but that's on a long term, because it is something that is costly. It is something that you need to have a survey made to be able to know where exactly are the areas where you have to place them, so that you have maximum, I would say, efficacy in hearing the sirens. So that's a project that we are working on, and that we believe between now and 2019 that we will be able to provide. Meanwhile, we will work with what you call the megaphones. That is something that can come in case of not having communication, such as TV, radio, press, but or the SMS or whatever measures that we put in place that will need electricity and that will not be functioning. We will have, like we did before Irma, with the gendarmerie and with the police, going through different sectors to give the information to the population.